Okay, here we are. Good morning, Unity of Merced. This is Reverend Twyla Reece coming to you from my living room, and I have with me Candace Lamb, who is a wonderful musician and vocalist. She's one of the musicians at Unity of Merced, and she does a wide body of work in her own life and in Merced County and beyond, playing at different venues. I put up a little snippet last evening of her, and it was very fun. Did you see that, Candace?
I haven't gotten to see it yet.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh,
It was
oh look.
fun. Yeah. So it's up on Facebook and on YouTube.
Oh, nice. I'll go check it out.
Yeah. So we are here to share with you this morning and to inspire you and to remind you of who you are. So in opening, I would like to read today's daily word. I open myself to spiritual understanding. The word for the day is understanding. When I feel frustrated by a personal or professional challenge, or feel unsafe or concerned about a situation or event, I seek greater understanding. When I try to understand, I open my heart. Maybe I just need to gather more information or request the advice of someone I trust. If I am in conflict, I practice understanding by listening with a curious mind and a loving heart. I grow in spiritual understanding when I discern and heed my inner guidance. Beyond conscious thought, spiritual truth begins to illuminate my consciousness. As I release all that stands in the way of understanding and stand firm in the love that calls it forth, I am guided by my growing spiritual understanding. And from Psalm 119, verse 144, your decrees are righteous forever. Give me understanding that I may live. And in unity, we would say, I now understand. I now have understanding. And as we go into a moment of prayer, let us listen with our heart to the understanding that is ours. So we give thanks for this morning and for this opportunity to be with everyone from our living rooms, from our homes. And we give thanks for the safety and strength of every person in this world. We breathe deeply and we remember who we are, and we understand who we are, and we appreciate who we are. Each individually, each personality, each love. And so it is. And Candace, will you play for us?
Yes. Can you hear my guitar?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to sing My Soul is Welcome Here by Daniel Nahman. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome here.
And your soul is welcome here. Your soul is welcome here. It is so good to be here with you this day. And I invite you to just breathe that in. Your soul is welcome here, right now, in this space, in this place, in this love, in this life. I'm trying to fix my screen. We'll leave it just like that. Today, I want to talk to you about choosing you, about you choosing you. Choose this day to choose you. With whatever is going on in your life, and absolutely with all that is going on in our world, it's so important that we settle into a moment of being centered, of being as centered as we can be, in being the love that we can be, in being the calmness that we can be, to be the fun that we can be in any given moment. I want to read to you a poem by James Dillett Freeman. It's called To Thine Own Self. To thine own self. The lake looked at the mountain and thought, "Oh, fortunate mountain rising so high, while I must lie so low. You look far out across the world and take part in many interesting things, while I can only lie still. How I wish I were a mountain." The mountain looked at the lake and thought, "Oh, fortunate lake, lying so close to the warm-breasted earth, while I loom here craggy and cold and uncomfortable. You are always so peaceful, while I am constantly having to battle howling storm and blazing sun. How I wish I were a lake." All the time, quietly, the mountain, I lost my note. All the time, the mountain was quietly being envious of the lake. And all the time, the lake was being envious of the mountain. And the truth is that we are each the mountain and we are each the lake. And while the mountain rises high and looks out over the world, the lake is setting off a mist that rises to the mountaintop. And it all becomes one vibration, one energy. No matter who you are in the world, you are that mist. The mist that is the vapors coming up off of the lake. And you are the clouds that surround the mountain. We are all one breath. We are all one life. I don't know if you had a chance yesterday to watch any of the global concert that was on so much of Saturday. I got to watch snippets of it, and it just opened my heart and brought tears to my eyes. I believe it was called, and you can look it up, One World Together at Home, something like that. A world together at home. All of these musicians, all of these vocalists, all of these people coming in together from all over the world to share their love, to share their music, to share their hope, and to raise money for the healthcare workers, for, I'm not even going to try and name all of the first responders that are out in the world taking care of us as we deal with COVID-19. If you get a chance, go check it out if you haven't seen it. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube and other places. It was truly beautiful to experience this. I got to see the Rolling Stones. That was so cool to see them performing, and oh my goodness, so many other people. But the point here is we are all one mist. We are all one energy. Choose this day to choose you. What in your life would you do differently if you could remember to choose you in any given moment? Now, for some people, that may sound rather selfish, but the truth is, when we remember to remember who we are, which is divine essence, which is Christ consciousness, Jesus said, these things that I do, you shall do too, and even better. He was not limiting anything. He was not raising himself above anyone. He was telling us that the evolutionary consciousness that he had attained is also available to us. And the more that we, as individual beings in these personality bodies, the more that we can remember that we are part of that divine essence, and we remember to choose us, to choose you, to love you, then that benefits the whole world. That benefits the whole body. We bring more of that true essence of love into every single breath and experience that anybody is breathing, that anybody is experiencing. Choose this day to choose you. I want to share with you quickly a story about a woman by the name of Millie. It comes out of Margaret Pounder's book, The Laws of Love. She's a Unity minister. She wrote this in 1979. And she tells the story of Millie. As a young girl at around the age 6 years old, Millie came down with scarlet fever and whooping cough. And those can be two very serious illnesses for children, for anyone. But as a young child, Millie contracted these two diseases, these two viruses. And while she was in the process of recovering from scarlet fever and whooping cough, one day, as she was out in the world with her parents, she was hit by a streetcar. So first she had scarlet fever, then she had whooping cough on top of that, and then she got hit by a streetcar. Come on, seriously? When I read this story, I really went, oh my gosh, seriously? But yes. And the effects of the scarlet fever and the whooping cough and the injuries that she acquired from the accident caused her to be both deaf and blind. She lived with her parents. And when Millie was around the age of 50, she had learned how to read Braille. She had learned how to do sign language. And when she was at around the age of 50, her parents died, as they would, right? The natural progression of life. And she was left alone. An acquaintance told her, don't know the backstory, but told her that he was going to take her to the doctor, conceivably to get a blood test. But where he really took her was to a mental hospital. And he dropped her off at this mental hospital at around the age of 50 years old. So here's Millie alone. She's in this new environment, and she's in a hospital where the care is not spectacular. It's a very dangerous place. She's not being well cared for. She's virtually ignored. She tries to communicate with people, but there's no one there that she can communicate with. But what she did have with her, fortunately, was she had her Braille Bible and other Braille magazines, inspirational magazines. So finally, she gave up trying to communicate with anyone because no one was listening. So she gave up communicating with others, but she didn't give up communicating with herself and with the God of her understanding. And daily she read, and daily she made the choice to choose Millie. One day, a volunteer was there on her ward, and he had been watching Millie. This volunteer happened to be deaf. And he had been aware of Millie as he would observe her on the days that he would be there volunteering. And he noticed that she had a stature of dignity, a stature of composure. And he started paying more close attention to Millie. And one day he went up to her and took her hand, and he spelled out in her hand, hi, H-I, hi. And Millie just, whoa, jumped to life and immediately took his hand and spelled out what is going on in the world. That volunteer was in that right place at the right time. And he had the feeling, he had the awareness that there was more to Millie than what had been expected of her, and that her only problem was that she couldn't see and she couldn't hear. Thanks to this volunteer, Millie got her life back. This volunteer worked and got her released. Millie had been in this hospital for just about 20 years. She was around 70 years old when she got out of that environment. At the age of 71, Millie was in college. Millie was working on her education. At the age of 71, after being kept in a mental hospital for 20 years, Millie kept choosing Millie. No matter what obstacle showed up in her life, Millie kept choosing Millie. In one of her papers, I want to share with you this quote. Millie recently made an A on a college theme. She wrote, "My good friends, do not let life pass you by. The art of life can consist of the ability of seeing the beauty of one's life. My good friends, do not let life pass you by. See the beauty of your life. See the beauty of who you are. Remember that lake and that mountain. They were envious of each other. They were wanting of the other's experience. But the truth of the matter is, was, and always will be, that we are all one, completely one energy, one life. We are in these individual bodies. We have these personalities, but we are one with the God mind. This day, choose you. This day, choose who you are, perfect and beautiful in all of your humanness. We are all one mist. We are all one life. We are all one beauty. Remember Millie and choose you, love you, be you. Candace.
I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. I know who you're here to be. I see it in your eyes. A light for the world to see. I know who you're here to be. You're here to be the one. You're here to make it fun. You really got my head spinning. You brighten every room. You always leave too soon. And this is just the beginning. Oh, I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. You are incredible, so unforgettable, the one that everyone's eyeing. You are an awesome friend and so magnificent, and there is just no denying. Oh, I know who you're here to be. I see it in your eyes, a light for the world to see. I know who you're here to be. I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. I know who you really are.
Awesome. Oh, Candace, thank you.
Thank you.
I know who you really are. You're a wonderful musician and wonderful vocalist.
Thank you.
And each and every one of you out there, I know who you really are as well. You are a divine being. You are one with good. You are one with God. You are one with life. Choose this day. Choose you. And in closing, I share with you our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is love. And so it is. See you next week. Bye.